Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Transport Fever. This all seems jolly familiar, doesn't it? We started out last time, stood by a docks, just, idly wondering if anything is going to float by in the near... Well, stone me! Perhaps literally. This is the CFS Ray, just coming into port here at wherever it is, I've forgotten, Henderson. Yes, indeed. And it's carrying 82 stone on board. So this is my first stone delivery about to happen. And I'm kind of keen to find out whether this is going to pay off big time. Now, a full load of either grain or livestock at the nearby dock to pick up has been yielding $235,000 every time it drops off. I am eagerly anticipating this one making me much more money because it's come halfway round the map in order to get here. So, come on there, big fella. Payday. Let's go. Come on. Show me the money. Put a smile on my face. And... Oh, okay, 352 grand. Well, that could have been more impressive, I guess, but, 352 grand's fine. And its running costs aren't exactly significant, so what? It's 81,000 a year, so even if it only arrives every other year, we'll take it. That'll be absolute... Yes. You're terribly excited, terribly pleased with yourself. Meanwhile, this has pushed the trucks into action. So we're now going to see if this chain actually pays off. So for those of you unaware, the goal here is that we're going to run stone up there, and I'll probably need a few more trucks in order to keep things moving. But we'll see, because it's now a race between the trucks unloading and the next arrival of the CFS Ray. They're going to ferry this stuff up to the construction plant here. At which point, new trucks, which, have I bought one yet? Oh yeah, and I set it in motion just because. Oh, fair play. Yes, at which point trucks will then pick up the completed materials and ferry them into Henderson. Likewise, I'm wondering if these chaps will find the wherewithal in order to cart it back again, drop it at the docks, so we could actually get a load running in both directions, which would be tremendously beneficial to the economy overall, because only getting paid for going one way on your route is pretty poor. If we can get paid going in both directions, then so much the better. And since we already have a delivery service, admittedly a delivery service for food, but a delivery service nonetheless, that happens from here at the Flint docks, heading back into Flint itself, then anything is possible. So, we're just going to have to wait and see, I suppose. Right, what have we got waiting here? We've got 54 stone, and it doesn't look like we're producing much more than that. You've got 3 on board. Are you going to grab any more, I wonder? I'm going to have to assume, yes, it will grab some more. But likewise, what I've kind of observed about the way that these goods chains work is based on the amount of supply at the far end of the chain. So right now, midway through the chain, we've got this large quantity of stone waiting to be picked up. And once we erode that, I would imagine that the original, the quarry will actually start kicking it out at a little bit more brisk pace. Probably. I don't know. This is largely speculation, and it's kind of, getting a handle on this stuff is going to dictate, how efficient I manage to make these goods chains in the future. Anyway, I've considered having the stone delivery ship drop off to Warren on the way back, since we already run services out of there. 11.3 thousand, very nice. That's pretty good stuff. Right, now I want this fella to stop mucking about. Come and pick up some bricks. Okay, good. Well, that's, we're flying. We're operational. That's a thing that's now working. So I guess I ought to be turning my eye to the next piece of expansion in the old master plan. Before I do so, I'll touch on ships one more time, I suspect. A couple of people have said that I ought to switch these ships off from automatic, which is what they are at the moment, onto one designated grain, one designated livestock. Here's the thing. They're smart enough to pick up the more abundant good when they arrive at the station. So this chap is already loading up on livestock, and the one we just departed from, as I'm sure you noticed, was fully loaded with grain. And by the time it comes back, the grain will be significantly more well stocked. Significantly more well stocked. Dear God, that's terrible English. Than livestock is, and therefore all should be well. We should just pick up grain and it will fill relatively quickly. Likewise, as mentioned, the double stop route here, we're going to be taking 30 some odd food back with us to drop off at the other end, which will then get delivered to Flint, and everybody can have bread for breakfast. Marvellous. Okay, so it's going swimmingly. Quick look at the numbers. Yes, we are profitable indeed. Things are looking up. Now, I've got a major expense on the horizon in terms of upgrading these chaps here, but I'm going to leave them alone for the time being. Firstly, they're 24 years of age, right? In the prime of life. If we just have a quick look at the expected lifespan, 40 years. So we've got another 17 years use out of those two fellas. And they are making, $750,000 plus profit per year. And given that the upgrade for those trains is going to be, 8-9 million. Actually, no, it's not that much yet, is it? It's only like 5 million. Only 5 million. I think we just let these keep making a bit of a profit for the time being, while expanding our operations in another direction. Now, the wisdom here would be into expanding the reach of routes we've already started on. I'm going to turn all the red text off because it's just unsightly. I don't need to know how much stuff costs. I'll just figure that out. So there's a couple of options. Those couple of options are, and let's talk grand scheme here, friends. So Boston is the centre of the known universe, it's the edge of the known universe. But the goal that I'm going for is that Boston is where everything begins and ends. No, just begins. There we go. Get it clear in your head first, and then maybe you'll make more sense. And then we'll run a route that charges basically in a straight line-ish up the map to the other end. We will go end to end with this, so probably ending at High Point. Likewise, we'll then run additional routes, train routes that is, coming out of Boston, where we head out to Henderson and we head out to Phoenix, and then subsequent routes, Phoenix, Jacksonville, Henderson, Flint. And then obviously once we reach Henderson, then we'll cut a swathe back up the map again. So if you think of it like some kind of fern-based plant is the shape we're going for. And as for kind of east-west routes, if we assume the compass is currently pointing north, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll figure that out in the fullness of time. Likewise, we'll offer a quicker version for people with aeroplanes as soon as they become available, which is not yet. Anyway, today's route that I'm thinking of, I've got a couple of choices. I mentioned this already. We have Flint to Salem, seems to be relatively low-hanging fruit, except for the change in elevation is going to be quite challenging. But since we're already servicing Flint with food, it might be a good time to try and up the tempo on that and get Salem also receiving the good stuff. Likewise, here's option 2, and I've mentioned this one already, is set up a train line here to run food out past Warren by train to Indianapolis, because those chaps are going hungry. Right now all they're eating is the occasional shrub maybe a bit of sand. You know, I mean, their diet needs, you know, leaves a lot to be desired. The other alternatives, Phoenix, Jacksonville, I've not really looked at yet, and I don't like the look of that mountain. I mean, you know, you can be the judge of scale on that one. But that's going to require a tunnel, which is, as I think I've already demonstrated at least once, an expensive proposition. We won't shy away from it over the fullness of time, but right now I'm shying away from it. The final choice, or the last remaining choice, let's say, is a little bit more radical, but possibly cheaper. And I can't wait all day for this stone to be done, so I'm gonna get another couple of fellas working on here. Let's go grey with this one. Yeah. I said I'd swerve away from orange at some point. Where are we? Henderson Stone Shuttle. Right, and then we'll buy another one. And we'll stick that on Henderson of the Brick. Gets to work. Splendid. Let's just make sure they're going the right way. I have a feeling this... Yeah. No, look. I admire your... Turn around. I admire your efforts to try and space things out correctly. However, you know, it's not necessary. This is an exciting and an active goods yard here, but I don't need you to make concessions. The third option, apologies, minor change in direction there, is because we've built this in such a way that it's too far away from the refinery. Yeah, just built it here, would have worked. Oh yeah, but no, had to be clever, didn't you? And as a result, it's not worked. So I'll have to run another one of the round-the-corner shuttle services, which are actually relatively profitable, to ship oil into here in order to make fuel. Now, even better than that is fuel and construction materials. If we have a look at Henderson here, construction materials and fuel, both are demanded by industrial. So we could turn Henderson into quite the industrial area if I shipped in some oil. Now, I've had a quick scan around the place looking for a decent oil supply, and it's a long way away. Hold on to your hats. We're going on a bit of a journey. Of all the oil fields I found, this is the most likely, which is going to require trucks as well. But we could stick a dock on this. Let's have a look. Quick spin around to get things facing the right direction. There we go. Go on, talk to me. There we go. See, so I could put a dock in there. Yeah, I know. You think I'm going to place it while it's still in passenger mode. I'm not going to place it while it's in passenger mode. I mean, fool me once, you know, that's a mistake anyone can make. Do it twice and you're an idiot. Do it 3 times and you're either doing it deliberately for comedy effect or there really is no hope for you in the world. So yeah, it involves replacing a couple of bridges, not least of all at Indianapolis, which is going to play merry hell with some of my bus routes. Because the likelihood of me being able to pop a bridge of significant height here is pretty slim. So that one's going to take some working out. But we already know that shipping routes are profitable. They're not fast profitable, but they are profitable. I am now deciding what I'm going to do. All right, I did ships last time. Let's go with stations. I'm going to need to borrow money. Oh, I don't want to borrow money. That's a bad thing to do because it ends in tears. You know, you end up having to sit around waiting to earn it back again. I mean, you know, I've got money coming in. You know, I've got pretty good money coming in. But what are we looking at? I mean, you know, 1.4, so we'll probably be close to 1.5 in costs this year versus more than that coming in. So what? That'll take us up to, I guess, 2 million, which should be more than enough to cover the outlay for the route itself. Okay, right. All right. Decision time over. Let's get this done. So we're going to go with a terminal. Given that this is the end of the line, the question is, where is the sagely point in which to put it? At which? In which? Where? I don't know. There's lots of words I could have used there, but you know, I'll choose one that's appropriate, maybe. So there's Salem over there, and what I want is a relatively, well, firstly I want a cheap station. I want to be somewhat in the heart of the town. So somewhere, I don't know, somewhere like that might not be so bad. And then it's a straight shot. I haven't decided which side of Salem I'm going to go yet. There you go. See, that's committed. That one's in the books. Yeah, fling that around there. Should we fling that a little nicer, maybe? I think that would be a good idea. Right, let's drag that out, and then we want to make some kind of, there you are, and then a bit of that. There you go, and everybody's happy. Not the cheapest roads ever, but you know, when has that ever stopped me? Okay, let's have a look. 141,000 to get to the shore. Let's go as far as there. Right. What are you saying? 1 million? I don't like that as prices go. That feels like you're price gouging me a touch. 90 kilometers an hour is not that quick. All right, let's go a little slower and see if we can't reduce our costs there. So we can get 39 as far as there. And actually, I don't want to decrease the height, so I might end up, because if I decrease the height, it's only going to make matters worse when I get over the other side of the river. Okay, yeah, all right, let's take that and see where we get to. It's going to lead to this rather unsightly lump in the ground, but it might save me money on the other side of the river. The one thing it's not currently doing is saving me money on the other side of the river. Yes. 2 million quid. Okay, maybe this was not the best choice. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a mighty fine looking piece of rail infrastructure when it's done. But I had hoped to get the track all nicely laid out here without losing my shirt in the process. What do you feel about that? Yeah, see, yeah, I mean, we could drop the height here, but that kind of defeats the purpose of everything we've done so far, doesn't it? Likewise, this wooden trestle is not going to cut it. I want to run as fast as possible. 214 versus 175. How much will an embankment cost? 282. And it will be incredibly ugly. Okay. 240. All right, give me another quote. Give me some other ideas. Oh, interesting. So you'll only charge me $500,000 if I decide to do that. Okay, we'll do that then. That was down to 336 grand. That's very doable. I mean, it's not. No, that's going to lead to some very, very poor train services. 600, 400, 400,000, 400,000. I don't really want that cut. Quit fighting me, track layer. Right, let's. If it's trying to snap to a bit of road, let's give it a bit of road to snap to, shall we? That's going in the direction I want to go. So if I spend 3 grand on just giving it a bit of a guide path, maybe that will there you go. See, like that, 400,000. Okay, well, I've seen. Well, we've all seen. We were here. I mean, you were sat right there. We've seen worse prices than that. We'll go stone for the moment, although I'd rather go with something a little bit more pacey. I don't like it though. But it does sit with the kind of the overall scheme at the moment, which is get track built. Now, track is a pretty significant investment. Oh, look at this. This is more like it. That's less like it. Let's go as far as here. Now, if I up the tempo, way steady on Tiger. No, let's not up the tempo. yeah, the basic principle for track laying at the moment is get it built cheap, right? That's going to lead to it being inefficient, significantly inefficient, not least of all in terms of travel. But later on, we can replace these tracks with a what? We can replace them with a more expensive and efficient alternative. So, for example, I might well be tempted to. No. It was looking good until about there. No, not even there. Let's go back a bit further, like that. Then let's make sure it's still relatively straight. Yeah. So, for example, that bizarre bit of roller coaster bridge I just built, we'll go back and we'll make that far more. I was going to say glamorous, but it's not really the right word. Effective. Effective will do. Okay, now thinking forward, running forward. You can imagine the Flint through Salem to Henderson line. I don't want to get in the way of harbour operations, so I think we will end up coming around this side before heading out to, I don't know, Independence, Pembroke Pines, maybe both. Who can tell? So yes, everything will be replaced with more expensive alternatives in the fullness of time when my cash flow, when my bank balance is amenable to that kind of behaviour. Something like that, except without any of that business. Easy. All right, 68. Okay, 68's all right. Yeah, keep it cheap, keep it cheap, keep it cheap. I'm loving it. I am loving the cheapness. Right, let's not go too far. Let's go about as far as here for the moment, and then let's get the station in. So, first things first, that road, gotta go. Sorry, it's just, that's how I feel. And, I won't be dictated to. Let's then add a station on there. How's that lining up? That's lining up quite nicely. I want it to line up really nicely, though. Now, I'm going to leave a bit of space, because I think I might try something exotic with a bus depot here. In which case, do something exotic with the bus depot first, so you've got enough space to actually fit your station in afterwards. Like that. Excellent. And then something along the... Yeah, so you see, that's looking pretty good. Now, we're not going to be able to upgrade that bus depot, but, frankly, I'm over it. Actually, I'm going to leave just a little bit more space, just in case the station requires it when it comes time to upgrade the station. Which I surely will. There we are. Look at that. See, a lot of talk, but eventually quite a lot of action. Right, let's get rid of that. What's your catchment area? Okay, let's get this underway, shall we? To show me colours. Okay, well that's green, so we want a bit of green, and then we could have another one in yellow. A nice little three-stopper taking in pretty much the entire town. No, taking in pretty much the... Okay, say the same thing twice. It's... Oh, okay, we've decided to go this way around. All right, fine. Then we'll want... Actually, if we stop up there, we can get a little bit more from that side. And then hopefully help with some expansion. Right, good. I like it. I'm all about this as a plan. So this is going to be wherever the hell I am, commuter. Salem. What have you done here? No, that all looks fine. That's fine. Henceforth known as Sal. Commuter. Yes, indeed. Right. Then we're going to need some kind of vehicular distribution center. One of those chaps. Could you do that on the cheap, do you think? I mean, while I might not be the most thrifty when it comes to placing these things, you're trying to charge me an extra 100% over the base cost. Cheeky ragamuffins. Right, let's go with a Mac, and we'll stick with the grey motif for the moment. We'll go with 2, and Salem commuter. Off you go. Get to work. Make good decisions. Grab some passengers. We'll do the same thing at the other end because I want to try and get this rolling before I start, you know, wasting money with trains. And I am going to have to take a loan out in order to get a good train, but I think we might go for, you know, a train of great exoticness, which is clearly a word in the dictionary. Too much slope. Nah, I don't believe that. Try the other side. Try going back where you were and then charging me your original quote. Oh, it's less than your original quote. I'll take it. That's also the wrong type. That's a cargo. That's a cargo stop there. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Fine. Good. Glad we're all paying attention. What you want is a tram type deal. We could put a tram on here, you know? That's the kind of thing I do when, you know, my sanity leaves me. For those of you who've not followed any of the train fever exploits, my track record with trams is woeful. Right, if I do the first stop here, I know, brace yourselves, it might seem a little counterintuitive, but I assure you, it's anything but. I should have possibly put tram track in here first. No, that feels good. That feels good. And then we can do one more here, or there. Right, and then we just need a bit more of this this road type stuff. Town planners are having some kind of Dali-esque moment there in their planning. Stick one of those down there. See if it can. No, let's turn that into a nice little housing area, kind of a street. Right, and then between those we are hitting, hold on, turn that off. We've got the commercial, that's covering most of the industrial. This will cover most of this greenery here. And then we'll continue zipping around, and then we can add another stop as the time requires it. So let's not, we've opted to go trams here, which I'm obviously going to regret. Oh, but I'm loving it laying out that where the roads aren't currently trammed. That's much more visible than it used to be. What do you mean there's too much slope? That cannot possibly be true. You built a road, now put some tram tracks on it. Too much slope. Too much slope. There's too much slope here. And there. The people of San Francisco would like a word. They don't seem to have a problem with trams and slopes. Oh, that's annoying. Right, well, we'll leave that as a work in progress, and we'll revert to using buses. Oh, that's a crushing disappointment for all of us. I'll find somewhere to do trams, soonish. See, I didn't even care that was going to charge me 4 times the amount of money. Oh, and I accidentally double-clicked there. I see, it's completely thrown me off my game. Anyway, you better be worth it, Flint, if that is your name. There we go. Lovely little route. Would be very scenic if you were in a tram. Right, FLN commuter. Well, I don't really care anymore. Chuck that in there. Right, good. Okay, so now I need a train depot, which will stick at the other end up here, and subsequently move when it's time to do something else. Give me a depot. Dep to the po. There we go. Right, let's create the route. We're going to go from here. Yes. We're going to need a new line. Yeah, that's the thing. From Salem to Flint. And it's a nice, it's a good distance. that's the tram station, which, you know, obviously doesn't use trams because, you know, it's too difficult. Right, FLN to Sal. Right, okay, now this is going to get expensive, but I've still got the same money in the bank after lashing it. I mean, how much did we pay there? 800,000, 1.3 million, that section of track cost. That's okay, I suppose. It's November now, so we'll price this thing up before we buy it at the start of the year, because we'll avoid a few bucks in interest charges. Right, so we're looking at an Atlantic, because, you know, let's go with the fast one. 1.7. That's a bargain. And then those are $500,000 a throw. Now, the Clerestory passenger car versus the 6-axle, right? 6-axle, you know, it'll do 110. You can take 18 passengers. Fine, good. This guy tops out at 80. Now, my Atlantic will do 100. But if we look at the weight of 25 tons versus 45 tons, and then the running cost of 83 versus 132, I will sacrifice the top speed. What are you capable of? 75. Oh, it's almost worth putting a mogul on there, really, isn't it? We'll be able to run it for 30 years, and that's 162 a year versus 288 a year. Is an extra 5 kilometers an hour going to be worth it? Well, that's a decision very easily made. Where are we? December 14th. Hit the accelerator. They'll fly right by. I know it's afterburners, but, you know, you either get the reference or you don't. Right, okay, out the other side of the year, let's get this board. Yeah, we're going to go with a mogul. I know, previously, you know, I would be, you know, despondent in the extreme about using lesser than the latest and greatest. Not enough money. We'll soon change that. Plenty of money. Amazing how that happens. Yes, I'd be completely despondent about not using the greatest technology available. But these days, you know, I'm all about trying to generate enough profit to keep me out of the poorhouse. What are we up to? 6 million in debt. That's okay. We can turn that around. You know, we have a couple of £1 million profit years. That'll be good. And the addition of this trooper to the existing arsenal of vehicles can only be a positive thing. Anyway, there we go. Right, so that's you running. I imagine it's going to be, you know, a couple of years before we get passenger one on that line. So we'll come back to you at a later date. Meanwhile, how's things going in the world of bricks? We're waiting for stone to come in, and that looks like him over there. Only carrying 69. Yeah, okay. So I've got to keep that stone emptying out nice and fast. Likewise, up here, what do we got? 27 bricks waiting, and again, this affects everything. So I'm going to need to put another steam lorry on there, and I haven't got the cash for it yet, but I will have. I just need anything at all to make a delivery, and this 10.7 will leap majestically to minus 174. Okay. Don't make me fast forward on you. That's, you know, nobody wants to see that. Come on, someone drop off something significant. Either of the two trains will do the job, or either of the ships will do a good job. Either my food ships. Look, I just want to get this going, and then I can wrap up and go into my, you know, my end patter. Oh, what's going on here? Are you waiting? Why have you only got 5 food? What are you waiting for? You're waiting. Oh, I see. You're bringing food back. You're waiting for grain. What are you idiots shipping? Livestock. I don't need livestock right now. I need grain. Okay, so previously I was very confident about more livestock. No. Grain, finally. How much have you got on board now? 72. Right, well, we'll just tell you to stop waiting till you're full for the moment and just get back to work. Oh, well, stuff it. Right, let's do that. Let's buy it. There we go. Right, magnificent. Set that to whatever the hell I was going to set it to, which is probably Henderson Brick. Let's go watch this chap doing his thing. Anyway, there you go. Look, that's gonna wrap it up for this time. I try and keep these things succinct, and this has been anything but. You're all again. Turn around, go pick something up first, you fool. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching today. We've got development going on, but I would have quite liked to have ended on a. That's a lot of food waiting. On a more. That's a lot of food waiting. What's going on here, lads? Have you taken industrial action on me, or what? That's a shipyard. That's not going to do you any favours. You want some kind of road transportation by a road vehicle. We better get a couple of those on the go, I think. Right, get out of the way. Do this. Food. Right, good. Right, smashing. Where was I? Oh yeah, I'm done. There you go. That's it. That'll do for this time. Next time around, we'll probably set up cash, depending. We'll probably set up the goods line running from the docks here out to Indianapolis, while at the same time redeveloping Indianapolis's bridges so that we can take container ships. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. There's a relatively decent cash requirement to make that work, but we'll figure that out between us. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Chuck us a like if you enjoyed this one, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future escapades. I've been Colonel Failure. Catch up with you very soon. Cheerio.